Welcome to Jon Ferrian Live. We are here on Memorial Day weekend 2021. It is Sunday night, the night before Memorial Day weekend, and boy, do we have the perfect episode for all of you tonight. We've got All American Heroes Foundation. We've got Mai-Linh Schuh. We've got Aaron McCarthy is here with us tonight. We are going to have a great episode focused exclusively on all the cool things going on with our All American Heroes Foundation, which is really focused on supporting veterans and first responders through the backcountry community. Lots of great things we got going on tonight. So as you guys come in, you know the routine. David Wagner is watching from Wyoming tonight, not California. I think he took a wrong turn somewhere, ended up in Wyoming. Let us all know where you're watching from as the live viewers are coming in. Please say hi in the comments. Drop it in. Let us know where you're watching from. Mike Morrison is here from British Columbia. Appreciate you watching, buddy. Great weekend right now happening. Drop it in the comments, too, on top of paying honor to our veterans this weekend. Let's also talk about what you have going on in your weekend and what your plans were. I've got kind of a trifecta going. I got snowmobiling yesterday and Saturday. Today was a little motorcycling and jeeping. Tomorrow we're planning on going an epic little Jeep tour up through the North Cascade Mountains across Highway 20. Should be beautiful snowy country with the top off the Jeep. Looking forward to having an amazing rest of the Memorial Day weekend. Right now, if you guys get this show out, share it, personal page, share it on your Sled pages, share it on your veterans pages, wherever you guys think we're going to add value to somebody's life, let's share it out. By sharing it out, you're going to get in to win a Fly Racing Snow mid-layer jacket. $80 value just for watching the show tonight, sharing the show tonight, and follow Fly Racing on both Instagram and on Facebook. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, share this out. Drop this in the comments here where you're watching from, and we're going to go right now and introduce you guys to Aaron McCarthy and Mai-Linh Schuh. So we've got them coming on here in 3, 2, and 1. All right. Holy smokes, Aaron McCarthy. Can I ever I don't know, Aaron,
Hey man,
how many times have you been on the show, buddy? Like I think there's a limit. We got to put a limit on this.
this I was just gonna tell you at the end of the show. This is it. Three
This is
times.
this is it. Never ever again. Don't make promises you can't keep, buddy.
I
Don't make him.
right. I got to do something epic this year to come back on. So
Well,
we'll
if you
see.
keep doing epic stuff like what we're talking about tonight, I think there'll be plenty of reasons for you to come on again in the future. So, Mai-Linh, appreciate you being on tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me tonight. I'm super excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys both excited for this amazing Memorial Day weekend and being able to do our show on Memorial Day weekend. It's quite an honor to pay honor to the veterans that
Yeah.
are out there that have served our country and
Absolutely.
including both of you. I would encourage you guys too, as we've talked through the show tonight. I know both of you have a little bit of your backstory on, your time in the military and what you've done to serve our country. I'm grateful, not being a veteran personally, I'm grateful for the service that both of you guys, as well as everybody else who served our country, has done. So it truly is an honor for me to be able to do a show like this one on Memorial Day weekend. So timing was perfect. So awesome.
Thank you.
So, Mai-Linh, you ended up being a lucky winner of a snowmobile. What's going on over your shoulders there? Can you give us a little
Oh,
little
oh,
camera
this
spin?
thing?
Yeah, like what do we got
Yes.
going back there? Like I actually, believe it or not, saw that snowmobile before you did. I was in Alpine, Wyoming at Dan Adams' shop while that sled was getting wrapped. You are one
That's
lucky
insane.
you are one lucky person. That's an amazing, beautiful sled. And we're going to talk tonight about
It is.
what happened and why it's in your garage and how that all happened. So I'm so excited to share your story tonight. So
Thank you. Yeah, it's been kind of a wild ride for the last couple months, but it's been an amazing experience with everyone involved.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So everybody who's watching right now, again, if you haven't already, please share this out. Even if it's just your personal page, you've got, especially the family. I know there's a lot of family that you have here, Mai-Linh, that's watching. If they share to their personal Facebook pages, then other friends and cousins and aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas and everybody will be able to see the show, and we'll continue to get the word out on that side as well. And Aaron, same thing. We'll get everybody to share this out, and we'll make sure that everybody gets the word out about this amazing story. So, Mai-Linh, why don't you start by just giving us a little background of who you are, right? Where do you live? Kind of what's your story? Like, bring us up to speed on kind of who is Mai-Linh Schuh.
All right. Well, my name is Mai-Linh. I'm from Brookfield, Wisconsin. I was actually born in Lake Forest, Illinois, but I grew up in Wisconsin. Dad's from Wisconsin, and my mom actually came over from Vietnam. So,
Awesome.
very hardworking family. I got two older brothers. We're all 4 years apart, but grew up snowmobiling ever since I could crawl on them, basically. So I blame my dad and my brothers mostly. My mom was kind of along for the ride, the supportive ride. But yeah, I just grew up trail riding, being crying left at home with the grandparents until I was about 3. They were like, okay, I guess we have to take her now. But yeah, growing up trail riding, Mercer area, Iron County for local people watching, just having like big snowmobile groups. We had family friends in the local snowbird club.
Okay.
We would go up there, family rides, kind of from restaurant to restaurant, go warm up, have a hot chocolate, maybe just kind of go barbecue, have one big barbecue at the end of the trip. That was always super fun. So I did that for years. And then by the time I got to the end of high school and getting into college, I actually had a little interruption with the military in there. So I kind of got away from snowmobiling for a while. And it was just recently in the past couple of years that I started getting to backcountry riding. My brother Chris, actually, he's the one closest to me in age. He got into backcountry snowmobiling, goes out to Colorado every year, loves it. And I'm like, man, like I got to try that. We're pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we have an old photo actually of him doing like a little kitty cat, like grass
Yeah.
drags. And there I am, only like 3, and you had to be 4, and I'm super pissed. And he's there holding a trophy. So I'm like, if you can do it, I'm gonna try it. So
Heck yeah.
we kind of are still on this journey together.
That's amazing.
Um, but yeah, other than snowmobiling, grew up just competitive dance mostly
Okay.
with school, and then I actually decided to go into the military. Both my brother Chris and my dad Steve are veterans, Air Force as well. My dad was active duty for 4 years.
Okay.
My brother Chris was in the Air National Guard through Wisconsin, and then I kind of took his lead and copied him yet
Yeah.
again. He'll
Yeah.
tell you. Yeah, I
That's
just always
awesome.
copy him.
Well, let's
But I actually stayed in longer.
okay.
So yeah.
Well, let's kind of dissect that a little bit. I think of, everyday all-American kids, they either do one of two things. They either see what their parents are doing or somebody above them is doing, and they go a complete opposite direction because they think like there's no way in heck I ever want to do that, whatever the job or the career path is. And then there's others who look up to and aspire to, mimic maybe or follow in their footsteps of their parents or their siblings. What was kind of the first inkling that you had at what age and how many years before you joined did you start thinking that the military was something you wanted to pursue? Like, kind of what inspired you specifically? Was it your dad, what he does? Just give us some insights on that, if you would.
Yeah. So I guess it starts with my dad and his amazing stories of traveling, going to Japan, Korea, Philippines, and seeing his old pictures. And then my grandpa actually did serve in like the Army Reserves, I believe, just for a couple years. But
Okay.
I mean, they always have these amazing stories of just being there to help others and adventure, really. A sense of adventure for me, which is what kind of inspired me to think about this and just kind of get it into my head, I guess.
Yeah.
And then my brother, being 4 years older than me, he went into the Air Guard. He kind of didn't really know what he was going to be doing after school, if he wanted to do college or if he wanted to do the Air Force or, any other type of trade school or, working on cars because they love cars. So he went into the Air Guard, and then I found out about all of like the educational benefits that Wisconsin has. Actually, it's one of the best tuition assistance programs in the
Wow.
country.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's super great. But I mean, I always knew I wanted to help people. I always knew I wanted to do something in the medical field. So I eventually decided like I wanted to do nursing and I wanted to go to a good school in the area. And if I could get experience before I get into my nursing job, that would be amazing. So it just kind of worked out. It's like I didn't want my parents, to try to make paying for schoolwork. I wanted to, kind of give my own effort, just like my brother kind of paved the way. I found different resources and,
That's awesome.
that sense of adventure was still there. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this. So
That's awesome.
turned 18 in October. So I was still a senior in high school. And then in that March, I did my swear-in. And then I did about a semester at college. And then I was off for 2 years doing all of my different medical training. And now I've been a nurse for 3 years. I work in an ICU in Milwaukee, and I want to help more people. And especially after this pandemic, we can see, just how much need there is. So I'm back in school yet again.
That's awesome. Wow. So, kind of what I heard there, part of it was that you had originally aspired to be a nurse and you looked at the military as a way to help fund your college as well as get some experience in medical nursing type programs. So, that's actually brilliant that you were able to kind of at such a young age tie that vision together and see a path for yourself. And to probably, I'm assuming, go through college now debt free for the most part because military covers it, right?
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly, yeah.
Very little comparatively to I went to a private college for my bachelor's, so
Okay.
it covered most of that, a
Yeah.
big chunk. But yeah, and then grad school I was paid for, and then
That's
I'm a
awesome.
veteran, and they awarded me a fellowship too. And
Yeah.
I just had amazing opportunities
That's awesome.
with where I've gotten so far.
That's awesome. So you're a snowmobiler, getting into backcountry snowmobiling, a veteran, and a nurse, aka kind of falls in the category of first responders. And then
Yeah.
insert this whole other world going on over here in Washington State, right? Aaron
Mhm.
McCarthy. I'm going to actually shift over to you, Aaron, for a minute here, too. And I know we've had you on the
Sure.
show before, we've talked about it, but let's give kind of a light refresher for everybody of, let's flash back for a minute. We're going to come back to Mai-Linh actually and talk about, her winning the sled and all that here in a few minutes. But, I think the path of the story now comes to, okay, here's this future perfect candidate in the making over here, Mai-Linh, right? And here's Aaron, a little over a year, probably a year and a half ago. Aaron, you were the beneficiary of somebody else's kindness and generosity. This whole message tonight, you're going to find everybody, is all about paying it forward, right? From start to finish, is honoring our veterans, honoring our community, and then ultimately those who continue to pay it forward is what continues to make this a driving force. And so, Aaron, take us back to the moment where Dan Adams over at, Next Level Riding Clinics was doing his Nominate Your Hero program, right? Give us the quick version of that story and how you ended up with a snowmobile in your garage.
Well, so I knew that, so I was at Matt Ence's, and I went out and rode at Matt Ence's with the Warrior Ride, Paul Thacker. And I came back and heard that there was a Honor Your Heroes or Nominate Your Heroes sled giveaway.
Yeah.
And I didn't think anything of it. And like with stuff that you do, I'll share because I think that paying it forward is always a cool thing. And I had people, hey, Aaron, you gotta put your name in the hat. I'm like, it's not about me. I'm not. I can't nominate myself. I'm not gonna do this. So, unbeknownst to me, my wife, she left, and I actually just read it prior to nominating Mai-Linh. So I kind of wanted to figure out, where the parallels were. If I was even worthy of what my judges were in comparison to the judges we have this year. I win the. So I'm sitting on the couch last April, early April, and I get a call in, and of course, I'm starting to know people, but I don't know. I like to be in the crowd. I don't like to be in front of the crowd. So I get this call. My wife says, "Hey, honey, Dan Adams is on the phone. And I'm like, who? She's like, Dan Adams from Next Level Riding Clinic. And I go, who's that?
Oh my
And I'm
God.
thinking, because John, you've spent enough time with me where it takes a minute for it to click in my head. And I go, what does he want? So she's like, just take the phone. So
Oh,
I
that's
get on the
hilarious.
phone and he's like, hi, Aaron, this is Dan Adams from Next Level Riding Clinic. We had the 2020 Nominate Your Hero Sled giveaway, and we just want to let you know that you just won the. And I go, shut up. No, I didn't. I don't want this thing. And you know me, I don't. There's always somebody. I've always felt that there's always somebody that is more deserving of it than I am. So, he had me on record. He was trying to do this live stream, and I totally bullowed it.
Oh
and
no.
he had to stop the recording, and then he goes, "Are you there?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "No, seriously, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Man, I don't like being in the front of stuff." And I said, I really don't deserve this. And he's like, you do. And he goes, your wife nominated you. Your daughter nominated you. Your old platoon sergeant nominated you. All these people had nominated me. And he goes, we want to give you the sled. So, of course, COVID is going on. So I couldn't get out there to pick up the sled during snowmobile season. So we made it work the middle of July. Went out there, and I wanted it low key. So it was just Eric Budge, who's our co-founder of All American Heroes, and Dan and myself, with my wife and my kids, and Dan's wife Irina. We're just sitting on the beach at Alpine, and Dan goes, "You ever thought about?" He goes something about. He goes, "Be interested." And I go, "What are you talking about?" And he's like a nonprofit, like with snowmobiling. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What are you talking about?" I didn't, when somebody says you want to start a nonprofit, you're like, what do you want to start a nonprofit about? Shoes? Everybody wears shoes. So what am I going to sell?
Yeah.
So I said, sure. What do you want to do? And he goes, sky's the limit. Anything that happens to do with backcountry safety education. I was like, done. I can do this. So, in retrospect, I look back now, and it actually, with all of you guys that have met me, it's actually given me a purpose. It's given me something to do.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna pause you for a second here. I know your audio is cutting out anyway, so it's the perfect time to cut you off here. And actually, that's okay. You're okay. But I want to interject here, and I want to say that the idea, there's things that happen. I think we call it serendipitous, right? Like it's like things are meant to be. Sometimes there's a higher power at work here, and I would say that of all the candidates that could have won that sled a year ago, I can't imagine another person on this planet that would have poured their heart and soul into paying it forward and moving forward with this program that we all know as American Heroes Foundation, All American Heroes Foundation, right? And being now a close, you were a perfect stranger when you came on the show with Dan Adams the first time, and now I consider you one of my closest friends. Like, you're just an amazing soul, and I'm so proud to call you my friend, buddy. And to see what you've done with it, and to be on phone calls with you privately and hear all the things that you're working on just tirelessly, I would tell you that you're right. It has given you this new renewed sense of purpose, and your focus, and just this community around you that supported you and continue. But it also is enough to drive you nuts, right? Like, I'll just say it for you. Like, there's so much going on.
It does drive me nuts.
Yep. It's as much as it's passionate, it loves, it also just drives you nuts, because it's like you want to move that, you're one of those guys that I want to move this rock from here to here, and when it doesn't move as fast as you want it to move, like, it just gets frustrating, right? And so
it does.
The heart and soul. So net, like, American Heroes Foundation was born,
so
and then
it was born.
So let me go with this for one more minute, and then I'll turn it back over to Aaron. So it was born, and you wanted to take it to the next level. It's not only just supporting veterans, but tying in veterans and first responders that are serving our communities across the country. And so set up for us just a little bit, Aaron, the original, kind of the concept and the idea of, what you were trying to accomplish by tying in first responders also. So.
Sure. So the original concept was to do team building, post-traumatic growth, recreational therapy, and doing more of a soft sell approach to that post-traumatic growth
Yep.
concept. There's a lot of programs out there for veterans that do that, but it's more of a 1 week, they're going to put you out in a bunch of cabins and you're going to do the kumbaya stuff. That's not for me. And there's a lot of veterans that it is not for them. So I wanted to do something like this, where you get a 3-day trip, you're learning something, you're getting some type of education, you're doing some team building, and you're also building those friendships that'll carry on for the next year or throughout that year. And I mean, building relationships through this post-traumatic growth process. I mean, I've been doing this PTSD thing since I got wounded. So there's nothing that you can't tell me that I haven't already tried, whether it's prescription medications, alcohol, whatever, the sky's the limit. This by far has been the most rewarding and the biggest rush. So what we ultimately want you to do is we want you to reach your individual peak. What that is, I don't know. My individual peak differs from you, John. I'm not going to go high mark, but I will go and hang out on a 30-degree slope with Jason Blair, because who gets to do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we're gonna try to see how far we can push this to make it better for everybody in the sport. And also on top of that, we've got these veterans and first responders that have this education already in their toolbox.
Yeah.
They've already been trained basic first aid, basic CPR, basic life-saving skills. So why wouldn't you take those people that have already had that training and that mental toughness and now incorporate them into this environment?
Yeah, backcountry snowmobiling environment is like very, can be very stressful and requires a lot of skills to navigate, right?
Right. Avalanche safety, right? I mean, it takes a team, right? But
Yep.
you could have 15 people on a slope on a slide, and if you don't have that one person that can give you distance and direction, it's just a mess. So by doing that, you keep building your groups, and I think it's the window. So give me a second. But what
That's
you're
okay.
doing is you keep branching out, and you're building more relationships, which eventually creates across the board a healthier environment for everybody to ride, right? So for me, my first 2 years of riding, yeah, I did go riding with pro riders, and it was great when I was there, but I had no idea what I was doing, where I was at. I had no idea the difference between a 15-degree slope and a 30-degree slope. I didn't look at cornices. I didn't look at wind slabs. I didn't look at any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just riding because I'm from Minnesota. I can ride snowmobile. Totally different lifestyle. So now add my daughter into this, who wants to ride. I have to be as safe as I can and have as much fun as I can.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for not only myself to have a purpose, but it's building a network of veterans and first responders that can go out and provide a service,
Yeah.
and get the training and education that everybody else should have in the backcountry.
Yeah.
We all
Well,
agree on that.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I'm hearing is, backcountry snowmobiling needs the skill set that veterans bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Veterans need what backcountry skills provides them for this outlet of, post-traumatic, stress disorder, whether it be just military service or otherwise, and just kind of that thing there too. And let's fast forward now, Aaron, quick, to kind of get the story moving along again here, is let's go back to Mai-Linh. So you put out the sweepstakes this year looking for veterans and first responders. And I want Mai-Linh to go through a little bit from her perspective. How did you or somebody in your family, like, how did this all come together? Was this completely Did you know anybody was nominating you? Was this a complete surprise that you got nominated? Like, talk us through what happened from your point of view, Mai-Linh. So,
Actually, so the year that Aaron won the sled, my brother had seen like the Dan Adams thing, and he joked about it because he's like,
yeah.
"Oh, you can nominate me." I'm like, "Oh, you could nominate me," you know.
Ah, that's awesome.
But obviously that didn't happen. We didn't nominate anything that year,
Yeah.
and it was meant to be Aaron anyways. But I was driving home from Colorado from Matt Enz's clinic actually, with my friend Heather, who's also a nurse, that I met through snowmobiling. And I was just joking around. I'm like, "Oh, look, you can nominate me." And she's like, "Fine, maybe I will." So then I told my family, I joked, I was like, "Oh, look, maybe I'll have a chance this year." And I didn't think anything would come of it, but I guess my mom had reached out to like a group text with all my family members and sent
Okay.
out like, "You better nominate her."
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's kind of all I really knew. Like maybe, just a couple of people might have maybe written about me, one maybe for sure. But I mean, I don't usually tend to, think I'm that lucky of a person. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, whatever.
Well, that's the great thing about great people is most of them, including you guys, are, both humble people, to trying to do the right things for your, your community and those around you. And that's why you were recognized and why you didn't think you were worthy. You both have a very similar story from that perspective. And then Aaron, I want to go back to you now and talk
Yeah,
about these nominations that came in. There were some pretty big
sure.
names that were nominating her, right? Like it sounds like
Yeah, absolutely.
she had just mentioned that Matt Enns was,
Yep.
she had gone to her clinic, right? And so it sounds like one of the nominations that came in was from Matt Enns, which was amazing, right?
Yeah. So I actually happened to be at Matt and Jesse's um, the week before I went to Jackson. So
Okay.
before the giveaway, and um, and I had already talked to Jesse, Matt's wife, and I said, hey, I keep getting this name. Tell me a little bit, because I had seen that Matt, he posts all the time, his riders, and he loves his riders. So Matt posts all his pictures, and I said, I found a couple of pictures of her, and I said, can you tell me, a little bit about her? And Jesse said, Aaron, if you don't nominate her, it's going to be the dumbest thing you ever did. She's like, this is like, well, I mean, I don't know if she said exactly that, but she's like, this is absolutely, she is bar none the best candidate you could pick. She goes, she's humble. She goes, this is what girls need in the sport. And I looked at Matt, and Matt goes, absolutely. He goes, she is awesome. He goes, 100%. And and Matt's not big on words, so he's like, absolutely 100%. And and that wasn't a for sure thing at that time. And so I was not I had no vote in the thing, and I did that on purpose. So we have a board. Um, so what we would do is we'd get the nominees. Nominees would come in. I would list them and then send them over to my board. And then my board would have the week to go through them, and then they would pick them. Her name just literally kept coming up, and I would say the ratio between men and women was probably 80-20,
Yeah.
and it wasn't, we weren't, my criteria was this: I want a veteran and or first responder. I don't want you to focus.
Oh, you cut out there,
I
Aaron.
want them to
Aaron,
be, no, I
can you?
said, I don't,
Yeah, go ahead and
go
repeat that
ahead.
because you cut out. So you see you.
No,
Go ahead.
I said, I don't want you, I don't want you to, I, I said, I want you to look at the whole picture. I don't want you to just look at that Aaron McCarthy got wounded. I don't want that. For me, I don't want that person. I want the person that's on the other end of that person that was there to receive me when I came off the battlefield. That's her.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, your audio cut out
I
again,
wanted
Aaron.
somebody. Oh, dang it! I'm sorry, John.
No, that's okay.
But I also, I also said that it would be great for us um, to expand our view on the progression of the sport. And that's all I said.
Yep.
And everybody came back, and it just kept coming back around. We had 4 guys and 2 girls
that were finalists. But I think, I mean, something that's absolutely worth saying out loud, though, is that, you know, every single person who is nominated that served our country is worthy of the nomination, and the acts that they've completed during their service and what they're there for, and the first responders and what they're doing. You know, I remember when Dan shared some of his insights from when he first found you. Like, there was so many great ones, and to get one that stands out is, you know, sometimes it's super difficult, but sometimes they really stand out for one reason or another, right?
Right. Well, and you take a board of 5 people that work full-time jobs, have kids, have lives, you know, they're volunteering, and then, you know, you have literally 4 weeks that you throw this thing out here, and you've got 592 candidates to go through in literally 30 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was great to see the amount of engagement. And it was actually, you know, I didn't read through them until probably when I was in Alpine, or when I was in Arrowhead, when I was in the snowstorm and I couldn't do anything. I was like, you know, I need to start looking and reading through these. And that was about the only time I'd ever read any. I started to read them. I didn't read the first 2 weeks, but regardless, I still didn't have a say in that. You know, and we you know, the funny thing is we had, our board is 2 girls and 5 guys.
Yeah.
You know, and out of that 7, you know, it kept coming around week after week, you know, Mai's name. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think what really locked us in was something that I had written in her in Dan's speech was, you know, the fact that she's that role model that little girls are going to look up to. And, you know, I mean, I'm going to get really emotional, but, you know, she's young, she's beautiful. She's got a family full of veterans. They're family orientated, you know, and then on top of that, she doesn't stop. She just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to do better, you know, and challenging herself. And you get to sit down and talk to her, and she's just a peach. I absolutely love her. I tell you, she's going to be in my, don't tell my wife, but she'll probably be in my will. But the All-American Heroes will.
No.
There's not much money in there, but
yeah, I was gonna say I hang around Aaron enough to know how fast he spends money. There's probably not going to be much left. Don't sweat it. So,
but absolutely. I mean, she encompasses everything that we stand for, you know, and that's, and I'm not saying none of the other, every single one of the other nominees, all 592 brought something to the table.
Yeah.
But when it came down to it, she is going to show this sport and our community what it means to be an All-American hero.
That's awesome.
And,
well, let's
and that's what she means to me. So
that's awesome. Well, now that you got us all pretty much in tears, like, thank you, Aaron, for that. Sorry, everybody. Mai-Linh, I want to go back to, how did they talk you into getting you in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, right? Like you were told that you were one of the final nominees and that they recommended that you would come to Jackson Hole Hill Climbs, which coincidentally is where they were going to give the sled away, right? And so, by the way, coincidentally, I was in the area that week too, and I think I missed you. By the way, I had to head out the day that you were there so I could get back to work the next day, but I missed you by one day, unfortunately, and so I didn't get to meet you in person yet, but I'm sure we will run into each other at some point. But you were conned into, what was the story you were told about getting to Jackson Hole, Wyoming?
Okay, so my dad had asked me like, "Oh, like what are you doing this weekend? Like we need to go clean the cabin." I'm like, "Oh." It's like I don't really know if I can like I had finals the next week after that weekend.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, like I don't know, like I, have to work on like Friday and then I really need to study for finals. Like I'm not sure if I can go up, maybe just for a day, you know. And then I had gone actually, I was in Alpine maybe the week before
Oh, really?
and
Okay.
with the Rev It Up Girls Club, stopped by Dan's shop. I was like, oh, hey, I'm Mai-Linh from Wisconsin. Don't know if you remember me because I took a clinic with him the
That's
season
hilarious.
prior. And I
Smart.
don't know if he like just pretended that he was like, oh yeah, hey. He was just like cleaning the roof of his place, and I had just gotten home from that trip actually, and then this is when my dad's like, oh, like, what are you doing? Like, we should go clean the cabin. And I'm like, oh no, I'm busy.
Ah.
And then maybe just a couple days after that, I get this phone call from Aaron, and he's like, "Oh, like, have you heard about this sled giveaway?" I'm like, "Yes." And then I start like profusely sweating. I can't talk. I'm like, "Wait, what?" He's talking. He's telling me I should really come out to Jackson Hole, but there's two other finalists. We kind of got
Yeah.
to keep it on the down low. Um, Actually, Rick from Altitude Sickness almost blew it for you guys, I guess, because he reached out. He's like, "Oh, like, heard you were like a finalist. Like, here's a T-shirt or a couple things for me to go." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, I have to call into work. I'm like, I have to go. I'm going." So
Ah.
I was like,
That's
"I'm
awesome.
taking." I actually just took my dad and my brother with me. So both of the guys that kind of got me hooked on the sport and hooked in military life, I guess,
Yeah.
too. So it was just super cool to share that experience together. And it was our first like big trip together since this whole
Yeah.
COVID shut down. So it was nice. It was really
Yeah.
nice.
That's awesome. And I'm
So
actually
on, on a
go.
caveat to that, John, it was pretty funny because we literally were chasing, like following her around, and I'd walk up to her and she'd be like, "I don't see any other candidates," and I'm like, "Oh, they're over there."
Oh yeah, they're over there, over there, over there.
They're over there.
Probably pointed at me, right? It's like no, it's like
Probably.
that big funny looking guy over there,
Go
right? Yeah.
go trip him in the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, yeah, one thing I want to make sure we get to is talking a little bit about your service in the military. I mean, I know you talked about, you'd attended, but you really didn't go into much depth there, and it's like the nursing too. Do you want to just take a few minutes, Mai-Linh, and just share with us about some of your experiences in the military, the time you served, kind of where you served and what you were doing, and then also kind of your recent times in nursing, and then we'll kind of flash back to the contest or the giveaway in Jackson Hole. So we'll come back to Aaron in a minute for that.
All right. So obviously wanted to do nursing or something in the medical field. So I
Yeah.
signed on to be like an EMT medic at the
Okay.
unit that my brother was at. So that was the 128th Air Control Squadron.
Okay.
I actually went to all three Air National Guard bases in the state. So that's a fun fact.
Very cool.
But I was a clinic medic there. I did all my initial training, and then my brother had gotten out of the service, and it's kind of the farthest base away. So some of the coordinators from Madison, the fighter wing, at the 115th, they were like, "Hey, like maybe transfer here. It's less of a drive for you. We'll get you started in search and extrication, rope rescue, pre-hospital trauma life support." And I'm like, "Dang, like that sounds really fun and
Yeah.
cool, and I get to help people and train." And then their mission was also stateside. It was on their like surf P team, it's called, for like disaster response. So that could be, I know in the military it's called like sea burn. So like chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, explosives. So I was trained to respond to those types of events and natural disasters
Yeah.
and provide care in the field. So I did that for most of my time. And then I finished my enlistment for 6 years, and then I extended a year and went to Milwaukee, trained for a flight operation medical technician.
Wow.
So basically a flight medic to make sure all of our special guys can go up in their planes, and then also specialty teams and firefighters as well. So I would screen them, put together their paperwork as well, and then I would go on to like their missions with them too. But after that year, it kind of got to a point where it's like, do I continue on with the military, or do I now put my time into getting really good nursing experience? And I had to look a year out for applying to colleges for grad school. So decided to get out and focus on like my civilian life for once. So I got trained up super fast on the sickest patients that we could get on my unit. We do a lot of transplants, like liver, kidney, pancreas. So got a lot of those, overdoses, specialty liver dialysis machines that take like almost 2 hours to set up. So that's kind of where I got like all my critical care stuff. And then I applied to school to be an acute care nurse practitioner, and I got into a doctorate's program at Madison.
Nice.
Paid for from the military. So I'm like, if there's any time to do it, it's now. And I just kind of have to go with the flow on this and just keep moving forward. So
Wow.
I started that this last fall. So I have 2 more years left
Yeah,
on my doctorates.
Aaron wasn't kidding when he said you kind of keep busy.
She doesn't stop.
Just
I'm
doesn't
telling
stop.
you.
Yep,
I
yep.
thrive staying
Awesome.
busy.
Yeah. Well, I think without a doubt, we've established your credentials and your background being worthy for such an honor that we're talking about here in just a minute. So, Aaron, let's
It's
flash.
crazy though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Let's flash back to your preparation that last week, getting ready for the sled giveaway, and preparing with even the Jackson Hole Hill Climbs by itself is just this monstrosity of an event, and to take a new initiative like this, and to get the airtime that you guys got at the event live on their hill climb feed and everything was amazing, right? And so just talk us through that whole process of what happened that week when you were there giving away the sled, and kind of how you finally unveiled it to Mai-Linh. So
yeah, so we I met with you in Alpine that I think it was a Tuesday, and then Wednesday we coordinated so we could have the sled there at Jackson on Thursday. And like everything with a new, but we got to Jackson. Polaris put it in the booth, in their tent, which was awesome. So we got to hang out with all the new sleds, and
it was the only non-matrix sled in the booth. I noticed.
That's
awesome.
Non-matrix sled, the only non-matrix wrapped sled. It was only so it was pretty awesome. So Dan, thanks to Dan's connections and being Dan Adams, we were able to link up with the Snow Devil.
The Snow Devil Snowmobile Club is the one who runs and operates the whole Jackson Hole Hill Climbs.
Yep. So they said that we could do it on Sunday. Do the giveaway on Sunday. They asked if we had our nominee here, and I said, yeah. The problem is she's got to get on a plane at noon.
Oh wow!
And they're like, okay, well we can do it at 10. And
that's kind of close.
That was right when the pro mods came out. So I mean, they literally stopped the hill climbs for 10 minutes so that Dan could stand up, give his spiel. Mai-Linh could receive her sled. We could take a bunch of pictures. It was fantastic.
Sounds like a fantastic opportunity. That's just amazing.
I can't thank Jackson, the Snow Devils, for they were absolutely fantastic. So the work up to that, obviously, you only have so much money in a new nonprofit, so you can only bring one of your nominees to the hill climb. So we did some wrangling, and with Steve, my dad, I called him and I said, how hard would it be to get her here? And he's like, when do you need her here? And I said, Thursday, Sunday. And he's like, well, she's got finals Monday morning. And I'm like, just get here. We'll work it out. So she literally, yeah, I mean, she had a long Sunday, but you know, I don't think she probably slept when she came home when she got home. So
So Mai-Linh,
so anyways,
the big question, Mai-Linh, is did you pass your finals?
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
have a
Oh.
39 GPA
Woo!
cumulatively so far.
that's
Oh,
right,
Aaron,
yeah, that's
Aaron,
right.
you
She
you
did.
prevented her from getting a 4.0
Whew.
though. Jeez,
Ah,
Aaron, you totally have
jeez.
messed up her academic career now. Jeez.
I'm
Well,
ruined.
she's got a brand new kick-ass sled behind her with a lot of cool stuff on it. So,
Fair enough. Fair
um,
enough.
but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff on that sled. You know, God, I can't tell you. TKI kicked in some great stuff on there. I mean, we can go down the list, John.
If
Straight
you don't,
line
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
starting. Yeah, so TKI, I don't know, you can't really see it, but she's got some custom 9-inch wheels on the back of that thing. She's got a gear down kit from TKI. She's got a brake lever, an adjustable brake lever. Ibex gave her a clutch kit. She's got starting line gave her the skis. She's got DuraPro
Ski rubbers.
uh,
Yep.
ski rubbers and a tether.
Yep.
Where else are we at here? Extreme Realities did the wrap.
Oh, of course. Yep. Jessica Carter does an amazing job on
Jessica
that.
Carter
So.
did the wrap. Yep.
Yep.
So that was it there. Where
By the
else?
way,
What do we have?
by the way, Mai-Linh, she does all my wraps too. They're fantastic. So.
Yep.
You know what? I'm getting a mini one for my niece's 120.
Awesome.
Matching.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, so straight line has been there for our veterans and first responders. They're from Ramsey, Minnesota, home. So I will always stick with them. They've got the best bumpers in the land. I've went through tons of them this year.
Yeah, I've watched Aaron test them numerous times. So.
Yep. So thanks to me, they changed them a little bit. But yeah, I mean, there's
they have a new
so much
design.
stuff on. There's new design, right?
We call it
the
McCarthy design. We'll call it.
I don't even want mine back. Ortovox gave us some stuff this year. We got Abby Bag that we gave away to a veteran who graduated an avalanche class. Tyler's backcountry. Brian Lundstead, you are my hero. Brian is on board with us for another 3 classes next year.
Amazing.
We're gonna do those at Arrowhead Mountain Lodge in Cimarron. February timeframe. I'm working out the details this week, and I should have the application out on our website, so that'll be great. You had Summer on last weekend. We're gonna help Summer out and keep pushing her agenda. We're gonna get her a couple of those signs that we promised her. Oh man, who else am I missing? Dan Adams obviously is a big one here, and then our big one is Eric Budge. Can't thank him enough. Yeah. Eric's been my rock. I may tick him off quite a bit because Eric's a busy man, and yeah. And then iDrive has been helping us out as well. They donate some money to our cause. So all in all, we had a small budget. We put 16 people through school total.
Yep.
At $1,000 a piece. And then gave Mai the sled, and we've got classes paid for. So yeah, 3 Abby classes next year and 1 women's pure ride.
That's awesome. Woo woo.
Yeah.
So Mai-Linh, what's kind of your vision now going forward? I mean, getting kind of sucked into the limelight with this sled has got to be. I personally got to witness how it changed Aaron McCarthy's life, like literally, what it meant to him, how it transitioned into kind of his purpose going forward. And I'm hearing rumors that you've got some things brewing on your side also about kind of your goals, I guess I don't know, all the words aren't coming to me right now, but kind of your focus going forward on kind of, what your thoughts are on paying it forward and how you might be working in the sled industry to kind of help make a difference as well. So any thoughts on that?
Right. So, I mean, at the beginning of this last season, I had no idea it was going to be like this at all. Like, I was just kind of searching Facebook for different women's groups to ride with and
Yeah.
different clinics to go to. Dan Adams' clinic kind of lit a fire under my butt. And then I went to Matt's and they whooped my butt, but I had so much fun. And I was like, you know what? We need to keep going. And then this, I mean, wow. I like didn't even know what to do at first, but I have a lot of skills that altitude sickness has been trying to bring to the table to avalanche courses. And,
It's amazing.
it's kind of weird how I can fit into a niche like that and, hopefully lend my expertise where I can. And yeah, help pay it forward by helping more people because that coming down to it, I joined the military to be, the citizen soldier and, I'm helping people. That's what it all comes down to. And I think that's who we are, like team building and on top of that, helping people and our
Yeah,
communities. So
that's amazing.
hopefully we can have, collaboration in process.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know Altitude Sickness has been working on, and I believe is implementing next year, starting some kind of post avalanche kind of, recover, the medical treatment type of training that would go into after an avalanche happens. And something that I'm actually tied into, it sounds like Altitude Sickness will be part of too, is the Driven event out in Sealy Lake, Montana. I believe it's the first week of February every year. This next year will be the same, and I'm planning on attending there again. I know Rick is planning on having a presence there and doing the class. I'm not sure if they've locked down whether you'll be there or not, but if you are, it would be amazing to be able to meet you in person and see you there. My wife will be there with me as well, and Aaron may or may not. You gonna be able to make it timing wise to the Driven event this year, Aaron?
It depends on my wing.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So,
also your busy
um,
schedule. I know you got a lot of things going on that time of year too. This year we couldn't make it because you had a lot of things going on.
yeah,
So
it all depends on the three classes. So I can't commit to being at Arrowhead the whole time,
yeah.
but somebody will
Brian
be there.
Brian Lundstedt will be there too, if that makes any difference. He is your hero and all. Like, come on. No, I was kidding.
Right, right, right. So yeah. So where we see Mai is in the military is we've got this motto: see a hole, fill a hole, right? So Mai will fill a hole where she sees the need, right? So if she feels that helping Rick is her purpose, then that's it. And if she wants to, want to run our women's side of the house, and she can do that. We've also got some stuff in the Midwest that one of our board members, Justina Burge, she's a certified snowmobile instructor. She's a flatlander, but um, you know they're 4 hours away from each other, and they can do some cross training there and do maybe some flatland training, and then some first aid with that. I would really, really love to see. My whole vision of this is to see the CPR, the first aid, incorporated into the avalanche, because Abby recovery is only you pluck that person out of the snow. Well, you got to
Yeah.
perform CPR, or you've got to splint a leg, or you've got to, you know,
Yeah. No, it makes complete sense. It's like the
you
next
know,
evolution. Yep.
right. So it's the next evolution, and that's where All American Heroes really wants to step in and help out. And
Yeah.
you know, Mai is perfectly suited to fill that hole, but we don't want to push her too far because she's got an education to get,
Yeah.
finish up. So, but yeah, she
Opportunity
she
is
can do
there,
it.
and I would tell you it's an amazing community. As
And
yeah.
yeah,
What?
she didn't talk about her little Polaris, um, her little.
Oh, you're cutting out again,
She
Aaron.
got
You
to
saying?
do a video of Polaris.
Did you
Oh,
do it? Did
she
you
got
do
to
a
do a video.
Polaris for Polaris?
There might have been a lifestyle feature interview that I've done. So
Woot woot.
I'm not sure what will come of my photos of growing up on sleds, talking about sleds and what sledding means to me and making friends and that bonding and partnership and, you know, similar experiences to what you form, relationships you form in the military out in the backcountry.
Yeah.
It's very similar. So
That's awesome.
yeah, we'll see what comes of that.
Well, make sure. I'm sure it'll get pushed into my Facebook feed or my social media feed as soon as it's posted and out. Right? What do you know when it might be out? Is it not for till next season, or what's the plan?
I'm not sure. At least until next season. They
Okay,
kind of didn't have a strict timeline on things, so
got it.
unknown. We'll see. It'll be a nice surprise.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we'll be looking for that. So, all right, you guys. So I'm looking through my notes that we took prior to the show, and I'm feeling like we've covered a lot of things here. I don't think we've missed anything. Is there anything on any of your side that we need to make sure we cover? So, Aaron, you want to go quick?
Yeah, absolutely quick. You know, the difference between Memorial Day, Veterans Day, you know, 4th of July is, you know, today's or this weekend is very special to me because I've lost my own soldiers, and that's what Memorial Day is for, is to remember those fallen,
Amen.
and so when you're out there and you're having a good time this weekend, raise your glass to the heavens and thank them for their service and, you know, for your freedom, you know. You know, I came close, and I'll tell you what, I wish that, I hope that our country is, you know, we're continued to be, you know, moved forward and taken care of and appreciated for the things that we've done, to make everybody safe as much as we can make them. So.
Amen. Amen to that. Amen to that.
I'm a little lost on words when I get sentimental, so sorry about that.
Yeah,
but
just honoring those who need to be honored for the Memorial Day weekend. Absolutely. So.
And finally, we're starting to sell our merchandise. I hate to sound like that,
Ah.
but none of our proceeds go
Well, let me
directly
be.
towards
Yeah.
our program.
Yeah, let me be the bad guy here, guys. Like, because I'm in the same
Okay.
boat on my side, right? It's like, you know, these nonprofit programs and the work that they do don't just happen, right? They require funding, right? And if people don't want to buy a T-shirt, they can just simply make a direct donation, right, Aaron? Where could they make a direct donation to if they want to?
They can go on AAHFDN.com, go into our contact tab, hit the donate button, donate whatever you want.
Nonprofit, tax deductible, right?
100% tax deductible. So
awesome.
I mean, we're legit. So
there you go.
You know, at least buy a sticker. A sticker's $3.
Yeah.
You know, they're good vinyl stickers. So and represent the organization. So.
Yeah. No, it's, I mean, very similar to what we have going on for like the Live Large stuff and all the stuff we do around avalanche safety is like, you know, the merchandise that you buy, you know, it's less about the actual merchandise and more about the representation of what it all is about, right? It's like when you wear an All-American Heroes Foundation shirt or a hat or have a sticker like I have on my stuff, Edith Sled front and center on the front of her sled every time we go out ride together, you know, those stickers are representing the incredible work that Aaron is doing, the people like Mai-Linh that got recognized for that work. You know, that's what it's about. It's about representing the brand and helping provide some funding so we can continue to do this amazing work.
Absolutely.
And so, amazing website with a lot of cool stuff. They got mugs and all kinds of stuff in there too. I've seen them.
Yeah, and in our organization, you know, so every single person that goes through our avalanche class is going through the class with an ARI certified instructor. So we're only, you know, utilizing the veterans and first responders. We want to keep us organic, and unfortunately, I hate to sound like that, but we're trying to build something here that's going to benefit the community as a whole, and not use it as for the individual person. So, you know, as much as I want people to understand that we are 100% on board with the ARI concept, and we want to continue to utilize the ARI platform because it fits with what we're doing. And plus, Brian is a stud. So, but yeah. So
Very
Anyways,
good. Very good.
thank
Well,
you very much, John.
Yep. All right, Aaron, you need to just shut up now. It's Mai-Lin's turn.
I'm out.
Aaron's talked way more than I told him he was allowed to. So, Aaron, good thing you had amazing things to say. Good thing you had amazing things to say. That's all I got to say. What does that say?
He is
That guy.
that
Aaron's
guy.
that guy. That's that guy. There you go. He's the guy that everybody mama warned us about, right? So all right, Mai-Lin, final thoughts, final words from you on anything you want to share, anybody you want to say thank you to or recognize. The floor is yours.
First and foremost, I agree, just highlighting Memorial Day. Those that are gone are the true heroes that have given the biggest sacrifice, and the families at home and friends at home that, are missing them tonight. They're all in my thoughts and my families as well. But thank you for everyone's service. Thank you to all of our sponsors, especially Matt and Jesse. I actually never knew that you sat down with them and they said those things. I almost cried. But then all of my family and new friends that are all watching and supporting. I'm excited to see what this new year brings.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody, as I tell everybody at the end of and I can't, agree more with everybody that, the timing of this episode on Memorial Day weekend is amazing. Tomorrow, Memorial Day, is when we're going to get a ton of traction for the show because, people will see it tonight. It'll be shared out. It'll be in a lot of places tomorrow on Memorial Day. And so do yourselves all a favor and help recognize and represent what Memorial Day is all about by sharing this amazing episode with those that are in your social media platforms. Get the word out about the great work that's going on with All American Heroes Foundation and the amazing individual that Mai-Linh Schuh is and how she's been recognized for that. So welcome to the family, Mai-Linh. Appreciate you being part of the Sled community and everything that means to be part of that. And my final thoughts are always God bless everybody. And don't forget to live large. Have an amazing night and amazing weekend. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.